Hello, guys. Good evening. Welcome to another big session for our community. So for the past 2 to 3 weeks, we've been using the position parameters and the scaling parameters to create simple animations. So today we'll be trying to combine both and making it a little bit complex just to see how both work hand in hand. So for that, we'll be creating an illustration which will be animating. The illustration which will be animating is an illustration of a tennis ball being bouncing off a tennis court. So for this, I already have an inspiration for it, which I created a few hours ago. So this was the illustration which I created. So I'll be creating right now in front of you in Illustrator, and these are the color palettes that I use. So that's what I'll be using for me. So to get started, so let me take down the image. To get started, the general shape of the long tennis court is a rectangle. If you are not familiar with a long tennis court, you could basically just Google long tennis courts top view image. You'll be able to get inspirations on how to get it done. So I drew a rectangle, then I'm going to use color eyedropper to pick the color here. So for this, to centralize the rectangle, a the long tennis course is usually divided into four spaces. So to create that division, I'll be duplicating this original um, shape of the long tennis courts. And to divide it into four spaces, you go to object, go to parts, split integrate. This helps you split whatever shape you are clicking on into any amount of shapes you want it. So I'll be splitting mine into four. So I want it to be in 4 columns. So click on four. Oh, sorry, before that, you might not be able to view it right now. Let me go back. So first thing to do to basically be able to differentiate it from the background shape, I would like to turn the new duplicated rectangle into a stroke, and I'll use color white for that. So let me give it color white stroke. Let me move the fill. Then I will increase the stroke width to 10. Now I can go and divide it into 4 columns. So object parts, split into grids, then 4 columns. You can preview it before you even press OK. So when you preview, you can see it's divided into 4 columns. So I click on OK. So that's the first step to creating the tennis court. Now, if you look at the real tennis court as well, they also have another line, like a boundary line for the court on the horizontal axis. So you are going to create such lines here as well. So just pick your pen to click on one side, hold shift, and click on the other side. You have a straight line. So you give me more space. So that same line must be at the bottom as well. So Control C to copy, Control F to place on top, then you bring it down as well. Now you're getting there. Now, for the importance of this particular shape that was divided into four, it's to get the middle and the other sides of the cut. So the middle rectangle which was gotten, let's duplicate it. And you use this, you duplicate it and copy and paste it, or you use it to create the net. So this is how the net is supposed to be. Let's give the net a different color. It should be black. So this is it for the net. The net needs an extra line in the middle. So you use your pen to create a line. The middle, click on one side, click on the side, hold shift. And you are getting there. For some of the other things needed to be done, yeah, moving the extra outer lines. So for some of the other things to do is the net has an horizontal line as well. So you create such lines as well. Um, that's one line. So the line needs to be in black. So I use eyedropper to pick this black. All I have to do now is just duplicate it multiple times. So as to get my net. As you can see, I'm just randomly duplicating and pasting it and drawing it down. You could basically take your time more to make it all have equal spacing. Or I could just do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and use the alignment tool to try and get it to have equal spacing. So I'm going to be grouping all the nets together. Um, and then I will centralize the net itself. So at the center now, we are basically almost done with our nets, with our tennis courts. So one of the other things you will notice is the straight line the tennis court doesn't pass the out edges line. So you definitely just reduce, bring it down. So this has some extra lines there. Let's delete this. So bring it to the middle here. Same thing should be done to the lines over here. Let's bring it to the moving the S6 line, bring it to the middle. This is not yet that's it. Yeah, that's it. That's it as well. Yes, with this, we've gotten our table tennis net. One other thing you just need to do is you could just make it a bit longer than the courts. We have a simple version of a long court, a long table tennis courts. So okay, let me centralize all the lines. Complete, centralize it. Now everything is, you'll see, at least perfect. It looks to be perfect. So now what we need is the ball now. So to draw a ball, just circle, draw a ball, pick the color of the ball which I used before, which is this. Then to create the shadow of the ball, because you need the shadow just to show like as if it's standing on the court, just duplicate the ball, Control C, Control F. You give it the color black, then you place it behind the ball, which is a control, then down space, or you just go to your layers, then you bring it down behind the ball. So with that, it's behind the ball. All you have to do is bring it down a little bit. 1, 2, 1, 2. I feel it's too much. 1. With this, it's almost like the ball is on the court. But one of the other things you will notice based on research about the tennis ball is that tennis balls have certain lines in them. So as to put that line, all you have to do is just same way you did for just duplicate the circle, Control C, Control F. Just hide your battle to pick the stroke of the chords. Sorry, it didn't duplicate. Control C, Control F. Okay. Then so you have one line, then you duplicate the same thing. Then you have 2 lines. Now, with this, you're almost done with your illustration. One last thing just need to know is when you want to import in After Effects, it doesn't really support clip masked objects from Illustrator. So it's better you just create it as a shape on its own. So to create as a shape on its own, all you have to do is turn these shapes into expand them into normal shapes, into outlines. So you click on the tool stroke, object expand, fill stroke, then okay. Then you now extrude them away from, you divide them away from the ball. So to do that, just duplicate a ball, Control C, Control F, Then use it to select it together with the stroke. Your shape builder to cut out the unnecessary part. So which is the outside, this inner part, this inner part, this, then the outer ones. Now you have your ball stroke. So your ball is also complete. So make sure you group your balls together, the lines and the ball, group it together. We have the shadow, the ball, the cuts. Let's group all the cuts together. Let's see. Let's group all the cuts together aside from the ball and its shadow. Something else. Ball and its shadow, yes. The rest of the update should be good. But it seems I did not choose lines of the lines now. So we already have our first illustration. Now, with regards to this, we are basically going to be doing two different illustrations so as to move from one particular sport to another. We are using two sports. So two sports that feel a little bit similar, even based on their name, is a lawn tennis and table tennis. So I already created another illustration for the table tennis, which I'm going to show you how I created it, and you'll be creating yours as well. This was created on the first layer in my illustrator, so I created another second layer. So this is the second layer, and this is the illustration of the table tennis court. As you can see, this is it. So you notice that their court has similarities. The table tennis and the long tennis, they have a little bit of similarity. So the best way for you to go forward, instead of you to actually have to illustrate this, design and illustrate this, you have to just go and copy your initial long tennis court, which you've already done. You'll be taking a lot of things from it. So you just all you have to do is copy a lot of this and place it on your second layer. You must always only make the layer you want to illustrate or make it visible. The other layers you don't want to illustrate, don't make them visible. Then make sure you click on that certain layer itself for you to be able to do things on it. If not, it won't be possible. So now that we have our long tennis courts, if you can see the difference between long tennis and table tennis is the table tennis doesn't have all these multiple lines. It usually is divided in the middle, not around. So all you have to do is just take one of all these lines and place it in the middle, then delete every other thing. So taking this particular one and placing it in the middle using the alignment to align it so every other line needs to go. And we already have our table tennis courts, but I decided to because most table tennis courts come in green or blue, so we're going to green. Now, a table tennis ball is plainly white, so all you have to do is just remove all these extra lines from the ball and make the ball itself white. And you are done with your illustration. But one thing you will notice is since the ball is white, if you were to take the ball above this, you will definitely lose visibility. So the color of the background should change. There, I use the color that is a little bit similar. It's more like a light orange for the background. So I'm going to be drawing a rectangle over it, place it to the back of all the illustrations, then giving it that light, very light orange color. So it's very close to white, but if you take the white on it, you can still see the difference in it. So that's what was just. So for this same background, we'll be taking it to the previous long tennis as well. Okay, so yeah, see, this is what it says when you don't click on the exact layer you're about to work on. So I just click on the layer and I place it at the back. So with this, we are basically done with both our illustrations. Now, what we want to do is now to save and export it into After Effects. Now, the one thing you need to know about when you are saving for After Effects to go and understand what you mean, every individual thing you are looking towards animating separately. What I mean is if you are looking towards animating the ball separately aside from the shadow, you understand, or you're looking to animate the background aside from the table tennis courts, anything you want to animate separately must be on a different layer. That means you now have to create multiple layers for all these things you have here. So the background itself will be on a single layer. The long tennis, let's remove the rest aside from the background. Background will be the only one on this layer. So I remove this by using Ctrl. I cut it. I got it out by using Ctrl X. I'll go and paste on the next layer. I created plus to create a new layer. So on this new layer, I'll now place it. Now, since here, what the whole cut will be animated together, so the cut will be left here. Only the ball and its shadow will be taken away from here, taking it to a new layer as well again. So you paste it. Don't worry about them not showing right now. When all the layers are obviously it should be like the same way the illustration is. So for here, for the animation, we'll definitely be animating the ball and the shadow separately. So for this one, only the shadow needs to be on this layer. So it's on the next layer you place the ball on. So ball. One of the things that can definitely help you a lot is name your layers. This is me putting out all the layers. You can see it looks like the illustration that was created. So naming all your layers is the best thing you can do for yourself. So the first layer was the background layer. So I'll just keep it short and that's called it PG. Second layer is long tennis courts. I'm just going to call it LT court. The next one is the ball shadow. So I'll call it LT ball shadow. Then the next one is the ball itself. So that's LT ball. So you'll definitely be doing the same for the second illustration as well. Though one of the advantages is their background is basically the same. You don't need a new layer for the two background. You just be using this first background for it as well. So you don't need to get a new layer for it. Just it doesn't need to be created twice. But delete it. So for this layer, it's what you're going to be leaving here is just the tennis courts because they are the only one that's going to be animated together.
Sorry, Matthew, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so we actually have like 10 minutes to the end of this call. So I think that maybe you can just stop at before importing to Illustrator. Like you can keep explaining, but like you stop
Yeah.
before import to After Effects, sorry. So you can just
Oh, okay. Okay, this one will just be all about the illustration. Yes, I understand. Okay, so this is it. So group all the chords together. So the chords will be the one that is going to be on this layer. So you are going to be taking the ball and the shadow away from this layer using, remember, I always say Control X to chords. So you go to the plus sign, create a new layer as well. Control F to paste it. Always use Control F to paste it. It's better to use Control F than Control V because Control F placed it on the exact same location on another layer and it won't move it to the left or the right. It will place it on the exact same place. So for this one, we know it's the ball and the shadow that is here, and we need the only the shadow to be on this layer. So we'll be taking away the ball itself from this. So Control X for just the ball. Then a new layer, then Control F. Now that this has been gotten, so I'm going to name it as well. This is a layer for the ball and it's a table tennis ball, so I'll be calling it TT ball. The next layer is the next layer is for the shadow, so it's going to be called, I'm going to call it TT ball shadow. Then this one is for the pot, the table, so that's the TT ball pot. Yes. So with this, all you have to do is just remove all the unnecessary things away from the file, which are basically, I'm done with the color palette and the pictures. So I'll just delete them before saving to import it into After Effects. So I deleted for this. So for this as well, all this goes. So with this, you are done with your illustration. All you have to do is remember to save. So Control S. Save it with a name you will recognize. So I'm going to say sports, no, design dive, sports assignments. So I'm saving it on my desktop because that's where I'll be able to get exact access. So once it's saved, yes, once it's saved, now you already have you've packaged it, it's packaged, you've illustrated, you've packaged it, now it's ready for After Effects. You've arranged it, named it, so you'll be able to easily get to know which is which. You place it on different layers. Always remember to place it on different layers if you are going to be importing it. If you are going to be, if there are multiple aspects of the animation, that will definitely help you. So with this, we are definitely done with illustrating. So do have a nice night. Thank you very much. Uh, Now we move, in the second part, we move into After Effects. Thank you.
Okay, Matthew, I'm sorry. I know some people might have some questions, but I'd just like you to emphasize why do we need to separate the different parts into different layers? Please, can you just re-emphasize for I know people may have those questions. Why are
Okay.
you naming them and like copying different parts? Why are you doing that? Why don't you just you drew it somewhere and then you moved it like to a different file to separate them? Like why are you using that kind of workflow? Can you explain like better?
Okay. So when it comes to, I'm going to be explaining firstly why I was separating them on different layers. When it comes to importing any illustrations or any objects, anything in from Illustrator into After Effects, if you want to animate them separately, what I mean by if you want to animate them separately is this: when if a person is walking, you understand, or let's say whenever any object is being done, if I wanted the ball to move up in my animation, while the baby table tennis to move side up or down. As you can see, they are not moving the same way. It's not as if when the ball moved up, the table tennis to follow it and moved up. So if I wanted to animate them separately, meaning that if maybe I wanted to add just position scale animation to this, and I wanted to add scale animation to this, those are two different animations. That means I wanted to animate them separately. If I want to do that, I must place those separate things on separate layers. That is just it. That is just how it is. You understand? You must place them on separate layers. It's just the way it's just because we want to give them different purposes, different things to do. You understand? They want to move different ways. So they cannot be together on the same layer. So if you want them to have different animation or different motion, they must also be on different layers. That's the keyword. Different. If you want it to go one part to go left and one part to go right, then they are going different directions, then they must definitely be on different layers. Now that was the reason why I had to basically start placing them on different layers. And when you're placing them on different layers, place them according to how you want them to look. I did not make the mistake of making the ball layer below the shadow layer. If I was to do that, this is how it's going to look when you import it into After Effects. You might get lost because you'll be like, this is not what I animated. This was not what I illustrated. So you must always place them according to how you want them to look. If you tell me long tennis court was the one that is supposed to be on the bottom, then its own layer must be the one that is going to be at the bottom in this arrangement here on your layer on my right hand side, in my layer panel. So that is how it is. Now, for the fact that I am naming them, that is also to help me. Because if I do not name them, that means if I have over, let's say I now have over 20 different things that are placed on 20 different layers. Does that mean that when I import them into After Effects, it is whatever name that is being shown here, that's what's going to show in After Effects. Now, if I import them and I left them as layer 1, layer 2, layer 3, when I now want to animate, it will be stressful for me to know which is which. That means I would have to waste a lot of time trying to on and off each particular one for me to be able to know which is which is going to delay my work a lot. It's going to be stressful. Imagine after maybe you've done a lot of animation, then you're not still looking for which layer was the ball. It's not going to help you. So it's always good for you to name your layers from your Illustrator file. That will save you a lot of time. So is there another question you might have?
Okay. So let me just stop recording now because we have like a minute left. But I'd just like to ask. So let me stop recording first of all.